when did you get a significant, impactful result with the Ancestry.com?
Victor may have to help me on this one. I want to say it was around March or April, Victor. Was that right?
Yeah, it was April.
Okay, April. April
Mhm.
was when everything started. So April it started because it received, I had like a first second cousin. Because at first it just lit up on my email and I was like, whatever. But then I clicked it and then it said first second cousin. So I was like, wait a minute. So the first response when I pulled it up, it was his brother Michael. And I was like, oh, okay. And then literally, like, I wouldn't even say like hours. Now, it took me a couple of hours to respond to Victor because I was at work during this time. But it was a short time between Michael and Victor when they had that conversation, like, yo, like, look at her. So
Definitely.
I received a message from Victor on Facebook. And, you know, he came off, he's like, look, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to sell you anything, but like,
I'm not
hey,
Nigerian.
like, yeah.
I
It
had
was
no
more
bean
so like,
pies.
it was more so like, my brother, my brother Michael was on Ancestry and seen that, it was a first, second cousin relationship. Like, I'm curious. That's when I was like, well, I was adopted and then, I've been trying to find, my birth family. So Victor started asking me questions. So later on, it went from us messaging each other on Facebook to him asking like, hey, like, do you mind talking on the phone? So I'm like, yeah, sure. So literally it was me, Victor, Michael, Kevin, Catherine, their mother, like all of us was on the phone. Like all of us was on the phone. Then they started asking questions. And then that's when I was pulling out my paperwork that I had from my adoption papers. And I was reading like, well, my birth father had this was going on with my birth father, my grandparents, everything. And so that's when, Victor was like, hey, like, are you down with us coming to meet you? So I'm like, sure. Even though we knew it was short notice, some people weren't able to because, kids work, and that's completely understandable. I would never knock anybody for that. Victor and Catherine was like, hey, is this time frame good? And I'm like, yeah. And without a shadow of a doubt, they shot to Winston. And then it was funny because it's one thing when you see a picture on Facebook, but it's another when you see somebody face to face.
You're like, oh, these is me. We got this. Yo, because I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. Like, because so me and Kevin are on his mom's side. We're very close first cousins. And we got those little baby pictures together in the same outfit, different color. Like our grandma would buy us the same exact shit like Kevin get one, I get one by default. This Kevin was a favorite. Hey, Grams, I know this. I don't know if she see it. If she ever see it, we know it. I was just gonna say till his sister came along, till Shayla came, this was the favorite. Hey, we know this, but I know that they would say that we look alike, like me and Kevin, right? And we do look alike. We look like we could be related, but his father's side, like I thought we look alike too. But then when I see like him and his father, I'm like, damn, nigga, you look like you just a light skinned version of your pops. Like that's just, and then it's like I'm looking at this angle. I'm like, yo, it's clearly that DNA is strong. Like, man,
It is.
shout out to y'all, man. Y'all guys got strong
Yeah,
DNA, man.
it
It's all through the
is.
blood.
Because literally, I really don't even call Victor and Catherine like my cousins, because literally when I look at Catherine, like we call each other copy and paste. Literally. We literally call each other copy and paste. So it's like, of course she's a copy and I'm the paste. But it's when we took pictures before they left, and Victor can even tell you, because he was like, everybody was saying, dang, who is that? Like it was crazy.
Undeniable.
It was crazy. But even when I think what Victor saw in me was, she really is a real chick. Like, she's not asking for nothing. And I didn't. Like, all I asked for was time.
So you didn't want the 18 years of child support or any of the other stuff to come with. You didn't want any of that backlog.
G.I. Joe to come to the grip.
Like, hey, I need my 40 acres and a mule. Like, I need
my
them.
40 acres and a mule. But no, literally, like, Victor was like, all right, like, let me ask you a question. Like, what's your end game? Like, what do you want out of this at the end of the day? And he was like, I know you want to meet your family, so like, what is it? And so I literally was like, just to meet them, just honestly to meet them. And it was actually funny because before that, it was like everybody was like kind of skeptical, like, whose child did I belong to? Because everybody was like, okay, something not sitting. But I think, honestly, from my perspective, and Victor can tell me if I'm wrong, I think what put the the cherry on the cake, the ice cream, whatever you want to call it, was when I told them, when my son had waffles and it had fruit on it. And I started cutting it up, and they're like, why are you doing that? And I said, oh, I'm allergic to strawberries. After that, it was like Catherine and Victor had this crazy look at each other. And I'm
wow.
Did I say something wrong?
All right, so
can I chime in real quick?
Yeah,
can I chime in?
Let's get Victor in here. So go ahead before I ask my question. Go ahead and chime in, Vic.
I just gotta clean that story up because, like I said, everything that she said was true. But like I said, so long story short, yeah, you kind of have some ideas and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, again, we decided to go out to brunch, and she's sitting there, and she's talking about, oh yeah, I need a fruit cup, and the fruit cup can't have apples. And we're like, can't have apples. And we're like, why can't it have apples? And she's like, oh, my son Dre is allergic to apples. So Catherine and I looking at each other, we're like, her son's allergic to apples. Well, our grandmother is allergic to pineapples. So hey, I kind of get it. All right, cool, let's run with that. You fast forward through it. Like I said, she's like, hey, I need the waffles with the wild berry. All right, cool. Wild berry. What does the wild berry have in it? It's got strawberries. All right, cool. Bring it on out. So, of course, bring the waffle out, and she's mixing it all up. She's doing everything for the son, and we're like, wow, that's so romantic. That's so cool. That's dope of a mom to make sure that her son got the nice spread. And then the wild berry gets on her finger. So then we're like, she gives her finger to her son. She's like, hey, here you go. And we're like, wow, that's real intimate. That's real nice. That's real close of a mother and a son. Why'd you do that? She said, oh, because I'm allergic to strawberries. Catherine and I look at each other with the dumbest look you could ever imagine in life. And we say, she's allergic to strawberries. I swear to goodness, for 5 hours from Greensboro to Ashburn, Virginia, Catherine and I laughed at each other like, you know how stupid we looked? Because we looked at each other and said, she's allergic to strawberries. Like, we looked so stupid sitting there at that brunch table. It was like, yep, like she said, that was the icing on the cake for it.
So what's the strawberry? Like, what is it about the strawberry that was such a, like, I'm still trying to figure out why that was the icing on the cake.
Kevin got that one.
My dad is allergic to strawberries.
Ah, and that's what it is. What a
couldn't make this up.
Yo, you can't make this shit up, man. Okay, so Vic, you reach out to Kiara as the initial bridge to bring this together, not Kiara reaching out to you.
Well, again, I didn't do the ancestry, so my brother did the ancestry. So
right, Mike did.
Again, long story short, yeah, and again, I got to clarify that too. It was actually May. It was early May when this happened, because like I said, it was within, I think, a week or two. Then we was down in Greensboro. But again, yeah, my brother, he called me up because he got the hit, and same thing. He's like, yo, you know how I did the ancestry thing? And I'm like, yeah. I'm laying on the couch dead from the COVID booster because them joints knocked me out.
there was no joke, man.
Oh man, how many boosters you got? How many boosters you got? I'm surprised you still got all your fingers and toes. How many boosters?
Man.
This ain't my real voice. Like, I used to sound like this from Coming to America. She's young. I don't even sound like that no more. Voice got deep.
Yo.
I got the Gerald voice now. I got the G shit podcast. I have to be the stunt double. But nah,
I
so
can't.
like I said, my brother hit me up and was like, yo, you know how I did the ancestry? Yeah. He said, yo, I need you to take a peep at this. Of course, again, booster shot, I got one eye, the shit ain't even working. So I'm like, all right, I'll try to take a look at it. Long story short, I'm like, what the hell is this? He's like, yeah. And again, his red, same thing as Kiara's, first cousin. And I'm like, yo, this is some wild shit. I said, did you talk to her? He said, nah. So I'm like, all right, give me a second. So again, like she said, I looked her up on Facebook, and again, you know,
So wait,
certain
it gave you her
profiles.
first and last name?
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
Ancestry
Yeah.
just out here sharing people's PII?
yeah, man, yeah, man,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Like the
mean,
So if
only
you,
you
thing
sign
you
into
don't
that.
So
you
that's what
sign
you so you
into
so
it.
you so when you so that so okay, so that's part of when you do ancestry.com, they have the right to then share your personal information with whomever you
With
are
your
connect.
matches.
With your
Wow.
Yeah.
matches, yeah. The only
With
Mm.
your
thing the
matches.
only thing it won't do is, of course, it will not put your social on there. It will not put your social, but it'll, because what you're doing is you'll get a kit and you have to put your saliva in that kit and then you have to send it off. So like they have whatever their their chemists do, whatever they do, and then what they'll do is they'll come back and they'll say like 20% white, Caucasian, Nigerian, all that stuff
Right,
like
right,
that.
right,
And
right.
then it starts to do your matches. So, like they were saying, my whole entire time it was nothing but fifth, sixth cousins. That's why I was like, you know what, I'm done. And then I got that alert of first, second cousin, and I was
So
like,
you
wait a
actually
minute.
got an alert and then saw the Michael name,
Mm-hmm.
but you didn't reach out. And then all of a sudden you got a Vic Taylor in your inbox hitting you up saying, I'm not a weirdo, but here's the deal.
Pretty
yeah, because
much.
actually